Hey guys, welcome to Curries and Stories with me, Neelam. Welcome to my beautiful new kitchen. Blue is my colour, although I'm wearing red today. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a British-born Indian, born in England, in Birmingham to be exact. So, hello to the Birmingham Massive. I moved to India in 2011 because I love this country and I love the food that we're going to have. So I'm going to take you on a journey with all my curries, and there are going to be a lot of stories in between. So let's get cracking with Kadai chicken. Now what I have here, washed and cleaned boneless chicken thigh. Use breast if you want to, use it on the bone if you want it. I prefer thighs boneless and skinless. So here I've ground some masala. In this there's about a teaspoon of coriander, teaspoon of cumin, 4 or 5 dry red chillies and about 1 inch of cinnamon. I roasted these whole spices in a pan, then I ground them. Now about here I think I've got about a tablespoon. Half of this goes into the chicken. I've got some ginger garlic paste here, some turmeric, the juice of a lemon. Squeeze it in, don't worry about the pips. I mean, it's all rustic cooking that we're doing here. We're not seasoning it at this moment. We're just going to put the marinade on, get it all covered. Right, so that's nicely covered. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick this in the fridge for about 20 minutes, half an hour. Right, I've got my Karai on. It's like an Indian version of a Chinese wok, I suppose. Gas is on. Now into this, first of all, we add ghee, my favorite ingredient after butter. I'm going to put in some of my delicious, fragrant ghee. Now what we're doing is tempering some more whole spices. So I have 3 bay leaves. I've got about 10 green cardamom and about the same of cloves. So that's sizzling away. I'm going to add 1 chopped onion, just roughly chopped. We're not going to colour the onion, we're just softening. A lot of curry recipes ask you to brown the onions, not in this case. This is a super quick recipe, super tasty. My onions have softened nicely. Now into that I'm going to add the remainder of the ginger garlic paste to give that a little mix. You can smell that it's cooking and it smells really rather delicious. Now into that I'm going to add some green chillies. As you've noticed, I haven't added any chili powder. The heat is going to come from these babies. Just chop them in like that. Give that a little stir. And now I've got a couple of chopped tomatoes. You can grind them if you want. I like to keep them like this because they add a bit of texture. Pop those in. Crank up the heat. Give this a stir. Now what you want is you want the tomatoes to start breaking down, but not completely. Let them get soft. Right, the tomatoes have started to break down. I'm going to add the rest of that masala that I marinated the chicken in. That can all go in. I'll add a bit of salt now. Give it a stir. Right, I've got my chicken from the fridge. That's been sat there for about half an hour. Check in on my little base here. Looking really rather delicious. That's ready for the chicken to go in. Crank up the heat and give that a stir. So while this is cooking away, I'll tell you the very first time I had Kadai chicken. It was in Birmingham, or Brum as we like to call it, and it was in a place called Spark Brook. Tiny little hole in the wall where an uncle was there and an auntie was there, and they were cooking in this big Karai. And I thought, oh, I think I'll try some of that because we never had it at home. And it was really light. It was very fragrant, not overly spicy, because traditionally this is not a really spicy dish, but I like to add a bit of heat. And I got the recipe from this auntie that was sitting there. And I tried to make it, and it was really rather delicious. Although my mother said it was not spicy enough, but we do make it much more spicier now. Oh, this is smelling really good, by the way. So we're going to cover it and cook it for about 5-7 minutes. The chicken will release some liquid, and you've noticed that I haven't added any water. So this curry it'll have a thick sauce, which you can enjoy, you know, with a fat naan. Let's leave that to cook for 5-7 minutes, and we'll come back to it. Right. Wow, you can see how much liquid the chicken has released. Crank up the heat. There you go. That is your sauce, people. That is looking amazing. Before I add my green pepper, I'm going to give it a little taste. Yum, yum in my tongue. Oh my God, super delicious. Nice and spicy, just how I like it. 1 green pepper, pop that in. You don't want to overcook this because you want the pepper to have just a little bit more crunch. Give that a stir and pop the lid back on for another 5 minutes. And then we're done. Right, let's see what's going on. Oh yeah, baby, that's bubbling away nicely. Lovely. The peppers are still nice and vibrant and green. They've got a bit of a crunch. I think we're ready to rock and roll, people. So I'm going to put in some fresh coriander stalks. The stalks have so much flavour and they give it a really nice zingy freshness. Give that a little stir. And finally, I'm going to add a pinch of my homemade Garam Masala. This will just lift it. Give it a bit of robustness. And there you have it. Chicken is cooked beautifully. So, here's my delicious Karai chicken. Do make this at home and let me know how it tastes. But for now, I'm going to tuck in.